So hi everyone, package arrived today and it's from Guangdong, China. Anyway, it took 3 weeks to get here, and I'm going to unwrap it and assemble it for you guys to give you guys an idea of what this quad is like. I started to open it. I got some scissors here. I'm going to get the packaging off. Okay, yeah, that's the one I ordered. There it is. It's a JJRC H26 2.4 gigahertz 6-axis gyro drone. Okay, so let's get going on this thing so we can get ready to fly it. Some of the corners were damaged on this, but I don't think it's going to harm it because of the way it's packed. In this plastic here, and there's the drone itself. I'm going to pull this cover off, and you get 6 blades, which means you get 2 extra blades. Here's the drone itself. Everything looks in order here. This is the battery compartment. I don't like this battery compartment, but this battery goes in here and plugs in, and it is a 7.4 volt and a 12 mAh battery. So it's good for about 6 to 8 minutes, depending upon how much wind it has to get that out of the way. How much wind it has to fight. Okay, here's the controller. It looks pretty nice. It's just like the one I have, actually. Here's your propeller protectors, and they got LEDs in them. So we'll set those aside. This is your landing gear. It's made out of plastic. And these landing gears, they just slide in here, like so. You can feel them lock in. You put one on each side here. That's the landing gear. Okay, I think we'll get everything out of the box first here. Here's the gimbal camera, and it's the same as my other one. The associated parts. Now, these here, just cut this bag and make it go faster. These are all your gears and your shafts. If you look at the shaft, you get a screwdriver here too. A real nice screwdriver, actually. But if you look at the shaft, there's a little screw here that holds the gear on. And that little screw lines up with the hole where your propeller is going to screw into. So that saves you a lot of aggravation. So you slide your gear in like that, and you take one of these propellers, and there's a little B there. That means it's a B propeller. And on the bottom of these, they have A. That's an A. And this one is a B propeller. Now there's a little hole in the side there, so you slide it over the shaft and you try and line up those little holes like that. Okay, then we'll I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the gears on first, and this is going to be a propeller, and this is a propeller. If you don't get the right propellers on them, the thing won't fly, because you have to have an A and an A and a B and a B. Okay, so over here this is a B propeller, and this is a B propeller. That's good. So we need another gear. Slide the gear in all the way. Line up your hole with the propeller. So let me get the little package of screws open. I'll have the right one. Okay. And then we need one more propeller, and it has to be an A propeller. This one is a, no, it's, I don't see the mark on it. This one is a B. What is this one? This one's an A propeller. Okay, so we'll put the last gear in, right here. And we'll line up the screw holes in here. Let's get her lined up there. Okay. And then we have the guards that have to go on here. And each one of these guards has to be plugged in. And those, they're real tiny. It doesn't matter which guard goes where, but each one of them has to be plugged in. And it's a little tricky. I don't know if I got it right that time or not. I guess, yeah, that one's right. And then this slides in over the top of here, like that. And now we have to find the screws. So let's make a little room here so we don't push this camera and stuff off the table. And the screws and stuff are in this bag. You get your charger for your battery. And then there's the screws are marked. This one says undercarriage screws. And this one says screws for the propellers. And this one says camera screws. Okay, so we're going to set those screws with the camera. And undercarriage, let's put the propeller screws in next. Open that up. I think we'll just put in one for now, show you how they go in. Now, fortunately, this screwdriver is magnetic, which makes it a lot better. That way you can hang on to it. If you lose one of these little screws, they give you extras anyway. But if you lose one, they're pretty tough to find. But you line that up there and get it in that hole. And this little screwdriver is really nice. And I think she's going in. Yep. Okay, I can do the rest of the propellers later, but that's a good way of showing you. And just snug it up. Don't go too far. You don't want to strip it. Just snug it up. Okay. Then you put your battery in here. Battery comes already in here, but you got to open the door to plug it in. Okay. So you plug the battery in, and the battery goes, I believe it has to go this way, like this, because it just barely fits in there. The compartment's a little small for the battery, actually. Now, what I do, I don't like this cover at all. It's got a little screw in it that's supposed to hold it in, but it doesn't even hold it on good. What I do is I take a little pair of nips, a little pair of diagonal nips, and I nip the corner and leave this wire out, so I can charge it without taking the battery out. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about that part right now. And undercarriage screws, that must be for the I'm just going to put one of these on to show you guys. So let's see, one of these is already plugged in. I'm going to take this one that's already plugged in. Goes in here. Just make sure when you put the screws in, you don't put them in through the wires. Okay. And like I said, what's nice about this screwdriver is it's magnetic. So you can just put it down there in the hole. Just run her in. I don't know what's wrong with that one, but let's try another one here. Get it right down in there. Oops. Like I said, these little screws are tiny. Okay. Gotta get it straight. It's a little bit of a job to put one together. We got a little handshake here that Doesn't always make life easy. Now, what's good about this landing gear is if it's in your way, you can just take it back out like that. Okay. This sits right down on here. I'm probably putting the screws through the wires, and that's probably why it's not going. Okay. I don't know what the problem is here. I didn't have that big a problem before. You just tighten this down like that. Snug it up good. Don't strip it. Don't tighten it too much. This one doesn't want to go. I don't know what's going on here. Got to push it a little bit, I guess. Make the holes in the plastic a little small so everything stays tight. I mean, you're going to be flying this around. You want to hit somebody in the head with it or something because the screws came out. Alright. And these two go up on the top. Move the propeller out of your way. Need a couple of these. And remember to do this someplace where you got plenty of table space so you're not losing these little screws all over the place. I'm not having too much luck today with this stuff. Alright, there she goes. Alright. We'll get one on this other side here. You know, try not to mix the screws up because the camera screws are a different size than the main body screws that we're working on right now. Alright, so what you can do is you can put this landing gear back in. And it's cut out. It goes right in there, and there's a little spot, and you have to make sure it bottoms out like that. It keeps the legs from twisting. Okay. And so that's, I don't want to make this video too long. That's how you attach your propeller guards, and there's LED lights in here, all different colors. This goes back in here like this. What I do is after I get this cut out where I want it, I'll put a little piece of tape or a larger screw down through there, and I won't even take this off again. I'll just leave it like that. Now, when you want to do the camera, you turn her upside down. This is really tricky because these little things, there's a space for everything here, but getting them plugged in, they're so tiny. You might want to have one of the younger kids around the house plug it in for you because they got that dexterity. Okay, each one of them is marked, so you're not going to mix them up. There's a white one and a red one that are both about the same size. The white one and the red one. And then there's this, I think this is the camera filming one, I'm not sure. Or it might be the power. I'm not sure which is which. Okay, so you put all of those in like that, and then this is the front where it says JJRC. That's the front, and this camera has to face the front, so it would go in. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, it slides in this little slot, and then it drops down on these two screw holes in the back here. Okay. What's going on here? Something's wrong. They're not lined up. Ah, there it is. Okay. Now all we have to do, we have to find the package that says camera screws. And that's these right here. I'm going to put these over here where you're not getting mixed in with everybody else. All the rest of them. And like I say, this magnetic screwdriver is great. You just drop it down in there. Tighten that baby up. I think what you should do is get one side and get it fairly snug. Remember, try not to strip these things, because you don't want these parts coming off in the mid-air when you're flying this thing. Then you got to go find them. Plus, possibility of maybe hitting somebody or something. So, now that's the camera, the gimbal camera on it. And don't forget to take the little red protector off the lens. The little red button on the lens. Take that off. Now this gimbal it's not really a true gimbal, but it works pretty good. It's going to go left and right and up and down. So you'll get about an angle of about like that, okay? I'm going to finish this up and get back with you guys. And I'll just show you this controller real quick. This little door slides open. It's supposed to. And it takes 4 AA batteries in the back. This is your throttle. This is for your turns and everything. This is for your gimbal. Left and right, up and down on your gimbal. Here's your on and off, and there's your indicator button. This is for taking videos, and it will show up on the LED screen right here. And camera. I think one of these is LED and one is camera. This is for your speed. This one here is return home if you hold it. I don't know, mine doesn't work on my other one. It doesn't return home, it goes to somebody else's house. And then this one here is for, you can set the height and it's supposed to stay there. And the other one did really respond well as far as staying there. And then they give you this where you can mount your, because this is a Wi-Fi FPW, which is going to allow you to view the camera through the your smartphone that goes in here. Actually, this is backwards, and you can tighten that up like that. Put your smartphone right in there. Okay, so I'll get back to you folks. I'm gonna assemble it. Okay guys, I'm back. I got it all assembled now. I got all the prop guards all installed. I got the landing gear, the camera's all installed, all the screws are in. I just have to put a screw in this cover here to hold this cover down. I put my FAA number on the front. I got my phone number over here in case it gets lost like the last one. And you're saying, wait a minute, I see 2 quads here. Well, you do, because this is my old quad. This one actually got lost. I had the FAA number, but I didn't have my phone number on it. And I put posters around, and I was lucky enough to get it back. But the landing gear broke, the plastic landing gear, so I put dowels in there. And I put them on a postal scale, and they only weigh about 1 gram more than the plastic landing gear. So if these break, I'm going to put wooden dowels in there because I think they're going to be just about the same weight. Now this one probably has better than 30 flights on it. And last night I painted these orange because the hardest part about flying this thing is you can't tell what's the front and what's the back. This is the front, this black part's the back. But once she gets up and she gets away, it's difficult to tell which is the front and which is the back. So this should help with the orange propellers in the front. Okay, so this is all ready to go here. And I'm going to show you this here. You have to, there's a switch on the bottom where you turn it on, right here. Okay. And then, I'm going to move this out of the way. It's in the way now. And you turn this on. Okay. And what you have to do is you have to pair this to the quad. So all you have to do is raise your arm up, drop it down. The light goes solid red. That means you're paired. When you're paired, it's ready for takeoff. Okay. I don't want to fly it here because this is so close here. I'd probably lose it in about 2 seconds. This thing is very fast. very strong. But anyway, here's the gimbal. I'll show you how the gimbal works. Pretty cool, huh? Alright, here's the up and down on the gimbal. A little rough on the up and down. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't take off on me. Okay, now the other thing is, because this is a Wi-Fi, you can turn on your smartphone here, and there's a couple different programs that you pick up on the internet, and they will show up on here, and it's kind of like a game. You have to push play, and then you can turn on your camera. You can actually fly some of these quads with that. As a matter of fact, you can fly this quad with your smartphone, and there's a what they call, I believe it's called a global control, and what it means is when you set it on global, if you tip your smartphone back, it'll take off. If you drop it down, it'll land. Left hand turn, right hand turn, and it's all done by gravity of your smartphone. Or you can control it from your smartphone with a little game that comes on the internet. So anyway, there it is. It's ready to fly. Hopefully today I'll get some flying in. I'm going to be very careful with it because, like I said, I don't want to lose it. Anyway, this is Gene coming to you from Surprise, Arizona, and happy trails.